I didn't do it for money or popularity. I never even thought I would be watched by anyone else than Josh. But I was wrong. And deeply at heart, I was happy. People watched my streams, donated to me, and actually really liked spending time with me as a play. However, there was a problem. Nobody knew it was me. To make Josh laugh a little bit more from my first stream, I was wearing a mask that he gave me a long time ago, and I was only known by my nick of Nerdy Princess. The popularity on the platform soon started to feel heavy on my shoulders. I didn't even have anyone with whom I could talk. I still remember that popular girls at school who were my friends laughed at geeks and nerds, so I couldn't talk with them. And my parents barely understood any of that gaming language, so it happened I started to chat with another streamer, who, like me, was hiding his true persona. His nick was Gamer Boy, and honestly, it's been a long time since I felt a deep connection with someone. We even streamed sometimes together, and we talked on a popular chat app. We established a rule. We will be true friends, but we won't show our faces to each other. He told me a lot about the girls he had a crush on, about his dreams, and the fact that, the same as me, he also couldn't be fully himself. He told me that in his school, he's a popular guy, one of the jocks, and most of his friends, even if play games from time to time, they would make fun of him for how nerdy he is. The months passed by, and by the end of high school, we had a prom. Most people were sure I will win since I was not only popular but also really liked. People value my kindness, the fact that I learn well, and if someone has a problem, I'm always happy to tutor them. Or that, unlike girls like Sarah, I'm not mean to them. After all, I still remember the time of middle school when I was a tomboy and nobody liked me at first. However, as time passed by, I started to have feelings for Gamer Boy. As we talked every day, and I just feel I finally found someone who understands me, who is like me. He became my first crush ever. But in the back of my head, I always remembered he has a girl on which he has a crush, and that's not me. He helped me a lot with streaming, and all the money viewers donated to me I was sent to Josh, so he can pay for his experimental treatment. A month before the prom, Sarah finally joined the race for the queen title. I could sense in my bones that she is hungry for revenge, but what was going to happen shocked me a lot. One day, Sarah announced an urgent meeting on which she promised to show my true face. I honestly laughed since I knew I did nothing bad, so she can't have anything bad on me. However, she knew something that made me shocked. I came to the meeting like everybody else, ready to just have a laugh as Sarah tries to demonize me. But she came calm, not like usual. She greeted everybody standing in the gym. People sat in the audience, curious what she will say. Sarah prepared a projector and her laptop, and with a note of satisfaction in her voice, she started to talk. You all probably know me as a crazy girl from that viral video. Years ago, I created a monster who was supposed to be like me, our beloved Lana Bowman. However, she never cared to respect me for everything I did for her. I had my low moment back at that time, but I always felt that Lana holds a secret. You see? She stopped and turned on the file on her computer. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw one of my streams. But Sarah didn't plan to stop there, and she followed. Lana is hiding that in reality, she is a geek, a nerd. In her home, she indulges in video games, and she isn't a queen. So maybe she should try to get a king title instead. Lana, for the last few months, became a very well-known gamer. But how could you know that? After all, she kept it all as her own little dirty secret. People were looking at me, and I felt how the sweat goes down my spine. Sarah managed to show that Nerdy Princess's internet ID and the ID from my home were the same. She even managed to get pictures of my room that felt uncanny, and I felt that she violated my privacy. To get those pictures, she seduced one of my cousins who visited us not long ago. She was ready to do everything to get her revenge. When she was done, the entire audience was quiet. Nobody said anything, and I could feel how everybody looks at me. I ran away. That night, I locked myself in my room. I put my streamer profile private, and I wrote to Gamerboy, who was my only friend, who truly knew me. I explained to him the entire situation, but he was calm. He said he has something important to tell me, but I must watch his stream, which was supposed to start in 2 hours. I took my laptop, and as I was laying in my bed, I started to watch. Gamerboy, as always, was sitting in his mask, but the game was paused, and instead, he started to talk. Many streamers like me, or my friend, hide our identities because we were scared we will be judged. Thanks to streaming, I became friends with one of the most wonderful girls in the entire world. I didn't know her real personality, and she didn't know mine. However, I learned today that somebody violated her privacy today, and I feel I must act. It's okay to be a nerd, to be a geek. Be yourself, because you, as yourself, are the most beautiful you can be. Since she was outed by someone today, I will out myself tonight. I don't care what people will think about me. The most important to me is my friend, he said, and grabbed his mask. I couldn't believe that he will also show his face publicly, but even more, I couldn't believe it when I saw it was Patrick. He sat in his headphones and looked directly into the camera. I saw his face smiling at me from the screen. He seemed very emotional, the same as he was back at the middle school prom. I felt how tears were coming down my cheeks. I couldn't believe that after all those years of hating him, I also fell in love with him. He smiled even brighter and said, "My name is Patrick, and I'm a huge nerd. I love to be a geek, but I love Lana even more. So are you ready to play some games tonight with me, guys?" And people went crazy in his comment section. All of them applauded and wished him and me well. It turned out that a lot of people from our school were secretly our fans. After the stream, I texted Patrick, and he asked if he can come to my house. I agreed, and we spent a whole night talking about everything. When the dawn came and he was sneaking out, he stopped and asked, "Will you go on a date with me?" And I laughed. Do you want to date an ex-popular, the geekiest girl of all? But instead of answering, he kissed me. Coming back to school made me anxious, but when I did, it turned out that Sarah failed. People loved me even more than before. I also started to date Patrick, and together we were not only streaming, but we also encouraged people to be themselves, because everybody is special in their own way. Even my girl pack didn't turn their backs on me, but embraced gaming. Since all of that happened and people went crazy, even our prom got a new geeky and freaky theme. Sarah lost and I became queen again. But this time, I was not afraid to be my true self.